I've been doing grilling for probably 25, 30 years. Been doing smoking probably 15 to 20.
Can you walk us through the whole process?
I go to two places. One is Restaurant Depot in downtown Kansas City. It's down the West Bottoms. Or I go to Sam's Club. And Sam's Club has a really good cut of meat as well. It depends on the pricing. They're the same cut of ribs that I'm going to buy at both locations. They use the same meat packager. And just all depends on who's best price that day. I'll spend a day preparing the rub. There's different rubs out there which we can get into. Some people use 10 and 12 and 15 ingredients for the rub. Mine's 5 basic ingredients that just about every household has. So it's nothing elaborate, nothing expensive to make. So I'll make up and depend on how many ribs I'm making.
Can you tell us your secret recipe?
Sure. It has got brown sugar in it. It's got pepper in it. It has salt in it. And it has 2 other ingredients. How's that? Pretty simple. I use the same rub recipe for whether I'm doing brisket or pork or chicken. There's a lot of different people out there who believe different rub profile is needed for each cut of meat. I don't fall into that category. I think if your rub's good enough, it should be good on anything.
How long have you been using this recipe?
Probably 5 years. And everybody seems to like it better than what we've done in the past, or what I've done in the past. It's easily contained. I can make it spicier, or I could change the ingredients up a little bit and still use the same ingredients, just cut the amount and the quantity down. Once I get done making up the rub, I'll go get the smoker ready at that point.
What next?
I'll open up the package of ribs. Let's just go with the simple, basic. I'm making 1 cryovac, 3 slabs of ribs. So make it easy, okay? So I'll open up the cryovac seal. I'll drain the blood. It's going to have blood in it, so you're going to do that in a sink. I'm going to drain the blood off, and I'm going to use cold water to rinse it, okay? Then I'm going to take 1 slab at a time, put it up on my cutting board, turn it over, and I'm going to peel the membrane off the back of the ribs, okay? And at that point, I'm also going to trim any fat that's on the back of the ribs that I don't need to let it cook down. It's just going to be overhang. So I'll trim that down as well. I'll turn it back over. I'll sprinkle rub on it. I'll flip it over, and I'll also sprinkle a little bit of rub on the back side as well. I like the flavor to go all the way through. So it's heavily rubbed on the front and lightly rubbed on the back. And I'll set that off into a tray or a pan and grab the next slab and start the process over again. I put the ribs on and I leave them for the first 3 hours. Okay. I'm going to come back periodically in that first 3 hours to check the temperature. I want to make sure my gauge is still sitting at 225 to 230. I don't like it getting above that. I surely don't want it below that. Below that's going to take longer to cook. You want a nice even heat. You get a better flavor, and you make sure your food is done when it's supposed to be. Pork is typically done per FDA protocol. It's 145 degrees. You'll reach that in about 4 hours on your smoker at 225 degrees. But I like to go for 6 hours. I want my ribs to be around 190 to 195 degrees. That way they pull off the bone with a bite, a slight pull, a slight tug. You don't want them just falling off the bone. I'm sure some people do. For me, I try to fix them every time at home like I'm doing a competition. I want to be able to bite into it, have a slight tug, a slight pull off the rib bone. After that, I'll start making up what I've got a glaze that I use. And I'll use a glaze for the last couple hours on my ribs. It's every half hour to 45 minutes I'll go out and put a light glaze on top of my ribs, and it gives it that little that little sheen, and it gives it also that little tacky little, people like, I don't bury it in barbecue sauce or anything like that, but people want, a little sticky, a little tacky, like, you had ribs.
The ribs have cooked for 6 or 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step?
I'm going to pull them off at that time. I'm pulling off the smoker. I'm going to, if we're ready to eat, then perfect. I still want them to sit for about 15 minutes. You want to let the meat rest. The worst thing you do is bring a piece of meat off your smoker and try to cut it right now. One, is not going to cut it, it's going to shred it because it's too hot, it's not ready to be cut, and you're losing some of your flavor profile. You let it sit there and you let it marinate in itself. It's still cooking, whether it's on the smoke or not, until the temperature starts coming down. So if we're not going to eat right away, which I prefer not to, is I will wrap it in aluminum foil and set it to the side. It's still going to remain, keep some of the heat in it, so it's still, a warm piece of meat when we go to eat. But it's not hot like it's on the smoker, and it's not going to keep cooking. Because if you overcook ribs, I think it's just terrible flavor.
I'm Joe Daly, and barbecue is my passion.
That's a little one.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like what you saw, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe down below and comment what you'd like to see in a future episode.